Hey cool kids, coming to you to do a fun eye tutorial. So as you can see, I've already got my face done. I've got my brows on. The next step that I'm gonna do is I just want to prime my eyelids. I kind of want to just get a really good base color. So one of my favorite products to use to do this is my MAC paint pot in the shade Soft Okra. And it's just this little pot. So I'm just gonna take my Soft Okra paint pot and I'm just gonna take a flat, it's just a cream, just a shadow brush actually. It's just a flat kind of paddle brush. And I'm just gonna get a little bit on my brush and I'm just gonna go directly underneath my brow. And this helps give a really defined brow too. And you can use this same stuff for, this is technically a concealer. It's like a, but I use this for, if I have spots, if I just want to do some spot control, but when I'm covering some acne spots or just this, I have this little scar, sometimes I like to cover it with this. It's just a very easy to use, and this will go a long way. You can get a lot of bang for your buck with the MAC Okra. Well, they're paint pots, I should say, because they have these in other colors, and I really feel like you get your product. You get your money's worth for your product. So as you can see, it's just giving me one even color. So as I've said in prior videos, you always need to set a cream with a powder. So I just want to take and get a bone, kind of like a bone color, maybe with a little bit of a yellowish tint underneath. So I'm going to go in with my Too Faced Peach palette. This is an oldie but a goodie. I like it because it has a really good, I use two different colors to make the color I need. So this is more of like a bone color, but with more of a peachy undertone, and this is more of a light tan with more of a golden undertone. And then I'm just going to take just another flat paddle brush, a little bit of the top color and a little bit of the bottom color, and just mix those two together. Tap off the excess and just kind of even that out to where I put the paint pot. Be careful when you go around the brow. Don't want to mess up that hard work we've spent on the brows. Because I'm gonna be honest, guys, I spend so long on my eyes. Like, I can do everything else really quick, but my eyes, I really tend to focus on my brows and my eyeshadows. And I spend most of my time blending, because you can never blend enough. Remember too, if you want a lot of pressure, hold your brush close. If you don't want as much, hold it farther at the end. With this, it really doesn't matter where I hold this, because this is a bone, very neutral, kind of almost the same color as my skin, so you're not gonna see how much pressure I put with this color. Now, if I was using a very pigmented color, I would need to be very careful in how I held my brush and applied it to my eye. Next, I'm gonna get a transition shade. I'm gonna move on with one of my all-time favorite palettes, just because it has so many shadows in it, and this is the Morphe Dare to Create 32A palette. Let me just show you how big. And like I've said before, I'm very messy with my makeup, so none of my stuff is gonna be clean. And I have a 2-year-old, so she's been into my stuff before. So I'm just gonna get a very fluffy shader brush. And this brush is actually by a man who's locally from around here. His name's Johnny Sherwood. He owns Johnny Cosmetics, and this is one of his brushes, and it's his brush 102. And I love it. It's honestly just like a crease shader brush, and it's just really fluffy and not dense at all. So I'm gonna dip into, as my transition shade, I'm gonna dip into this first shade right here. And I would tell you the name of it, but the one thing I do not like about this palette is that it does not have the names listed above the shadow. So I really don't like that, and I lost, it came on the little, you know, clear inserts, and who can keep those? Tap off the excess, even blow on it if I want. I don't want a lot of pressure, so I'm gonna hold my brush at the very end of it. I'm just gonna lightly put this on my brow bone into my crease, because we're gonna want a transition shade before we go in with our eyeshadow. I'm gonna do kind of a fun, orangey, bright, summery, happy, I don't know, bold eye today. Just kind of lightly work that in there and blend that in seamlessly. Blending up. Always remember, you can never blend enough. I'm just blending that in there very well. Picking up some more, tapping that off, and then working over here on this brow bone. Windshield wiper motions. Move this up and into the crease really well. Your eyeshadow is laced so much better when you have a transition shade. Always remember blending that. And I'm gonna just do the same thing again on this eye, and I'm gonna focus this one a little bit further down into my crease. So up underneath that brow bone. And maybe this look, you know, isn't for you and these colors aren't for you. Just, even if I can help you a little with the technique, swap out the colors. So just same thing over here, and I'm just focusing it into the crease of my. This is my blending brush. This is my Tapered blending brush by Sigma. I really like this, and I'm just gonna take what I have done, and I'm just gonna blend that in, and just up a little. And then the same with this eye. Windshield wiper motions, blending back and forth. Next, I'm gonna take a Morphe M330, shall I say. It's more of a crease brush. It's a little more tapered than the other. And I'm gonna pick up this orangey shade right here. I'm gonna get a good amount on my brush and then tap off some excess. And then I'm just gonna work this into my crease really easy. Blending into the center. I'm just blending back and forth, windshield wiper motions, just as before. Same thing on the other eye. And because I want this to be really vibrant, and I just want a little bit more pigment with this shadow, I'm gonna hold my brush just a tiny bit closer, about midway. Focusing it from the outside corner in. Same shadow, a little bit more, tap it off, and on the eye from before, and just kind of blending that in very well. Don't worry, we're gonna blend up after we've gotten enough of this color. And then just one more time with this just building that color. It looks so much better to build your color than to just go slap this really vibrant shade down, in my opinion. Now I'm gonna take my same Sigma blending brush as before, and just working what I have just laid down up into my brow bone. Just windshield wiper motion back and forth till you feel like you have seamlessly blended it out and you don't have really any harsh lines. And the same thing goes with the other eye. Blending up and out. Now I'm gonna come in and grab this shade right here. I'm actually gonna go in with that same tapered brush that I was just using, that Morphe M330. And I'm just gonna a little bit, tap it off, and I'm just gonna work that more in the outside corner and out. And just kind of feather it out, fan it out just a little bit. I take this orange color right here, a little bit on that same brush I had before, the Morphe M330, and just focusing that on the outside corner and working it in. I kind of think of it like a V. It's like you're doing like a sideways V or a backwards C. Same color, a little bit more on brush, tap it off. And then just do the same thing to the next eye. Focusing it on the outside corner, blending it in. Now I'm gonna take that same Sigma blending brush from before, and then just taking what I just did and blending it upwards to prevent any harsh lines. As you can see, this is really blending out very seamlessly. It doesn't look like I just slapped orange eyeshadow square on my face. It all blends down. Now I'm going to get more of a penciled brush because I want to define my outer V a little bit more. And this is my this is a Smokey shadow brush by Smashbox. And then I'm just gonna take that same burnt orange color that I just used prior, and I'm just gonna focus it on this outer corner. Always tapping off the excess, because we don't want to have to clean up too much, because this can be, these brighter pigmented colors can be a little bit hard. And just to darken my outer corner just one more smidge, I'm gonna take another burnt color. It's just a little bit darker, more brown. So I'm just gonna get that same smoky brush that I have, corner brush, and just a little bit of that burnt orange color. And just the very, I'm talking about the very, very outside. And like I said before with darker colors, it's just gonna give my eye a little bit more depth at the edge. Just like that. Now I'm gonna take that same MAC paint pot that I used earlier on the to use as my primer. I'm going to take it in the same crease shadow brush that I used earlier, and I'm going to get just a little bit on there. I'm gonna put it right in here. And then this is going to help when I lay down my next shade, and it's gonna make my next shade pop. And I'm using a yellow next, and I really want it to pop. So this helps, and this will help it last too, and it won't smudge, but it really just helps tremendously with the pigment. Not that it isn't a pigmented shadow, but this will just make it very more vibrant. So I'm going to move on to my Jacklyn Hill Morphe palette, which I do love, and I'm going to pick up the shade Creamsicle. It's this yellowy orangey shade, and I just love it. And I'm going to pick up another flat little shadow paddle brush, and I'm just going to get my brush really coated. If I wouldn't have put my cream, this paint pot on, I could have also sprayed my brush with some Max Fit, with some setting spray or some Fix Plus, and that would help it as well. But I'm just going to get some on there, tap off excess, and pat it on there, like pushing it into the eye. Just as so. Do some more, tap it off. And on the same where I'll put the shadow primer. And just put a crease again, just to kind of break up where I just laid that yellow down. Just as so. Just a little bit more. Put it on the brush, tap it off, and blend into the crease. Just to soften that line. Now I'm going to take that same blending brush from before and just blending upwards. Almost done after this, and we're just going to add a little bit of inner highlight, a little liner, and some mascara, and we're done. I just want to add a little bit too underneath my eye, actually. So I just want to smoke out my bottom lash line. So I'm going to just, instead of swapping back to that palette from before, I'm just going to use this same palette, and I'm going to just get a transition shade like I would have before, just so it's not so harsh. So I'm just getting it, my little pencil brush, and this little light brown color, tap it off, and just run it underneath my eye right here. And just a little bit, you don't need much. And just run it right along the lower lash line. And the same as for here. Lower lash line. Now I don't want too much on my lower lash line. So now I'm just gonna go into this orangey color since I've laid down a transition. A little bit of that, tap it off, and just run it on my lower lash line. And I don't want to take it in too far. So just okay. Now I've done that, I'm gonna just take one of more of my little Morphe smudger brushes. And I'm just gonna smudge. Just blending out what I just laid down. And I'm gonna get a small paddle brush for the inside corner highlight. And I think I'm just gonna go in with something kind of goldeny, and it's kind of golden cream, and it's called Beam. And I'm just gonna get a little bit on here. I'm just gonna focus it on the inner part of the eye. And I'll bring it down. It looks a little bit much right now, but we're gonna blend the other in. So inner corner of the eye and bring it down. And this just really opens up your eyeball or eye socket. So I'm just take that blending brush from before, take it and blend everything seamlessly together. Now I'm going to just finish this up really quick with a quick liner. I don't want to put much, just some to define my lid. So I'm just going to close my lid real quick and run the liner across my lid. Just going right above the lash line. Do the same to the other eye. You never I used to have a really bad habit of pulling on my lid to do my liner. And you never want to do that. You don't want to put any more tugs on your eyes. That's going to cause early wrinkles, and you don't want to give your eyes any more wrinkles than they're already going to have naturally. So that's the thing okay. And I don't want to use any eyeliner at the bottom. Now I'm just going to throw in a little bit of mascara and a lip, and we're done. I'm going to use my Bad Gal Bang by Benefit. I really love this one. It's a lot like their Roller Lash, but I like this one as well. And again, you'll see me do my funny face that most girls do when they apply mascara. And like I said before, mascara tip, put it at the end of the root of the lash and jiggle it up, wiggle up, how you want to say, zigzag motion. Most people do false lashes, but I'm not going to do that today. I'm just going to go with some good old mascara. Like I said, root, wiggle up. And I'm just going to get my bottom lash. Okay, and then I'm going to go in with my ColourPop Ultra Satin Lip with Laura Lee, with their Laura Lee's collab with ColourPop. And I'm just gonna kind of line my lip before I fill it in. Just a bit more. And I like this applicator. As you can see, really like this. This is the final look, and it's very fun. It's kind of summery, but more of a summer night since we have such a dark matte lip. This could even be a fall look as well. Yeah, so I hope you guys like it. I hope you learned something from this video, and if you have any questions, feel free to hit me up in the comment section below, and see you soon.